guys, welcome to Naledi Dilena. It's your girl Naledi and I hope you enjoy this video. There is a clear rise in crime in Zimbabwe, and everybody knows this. It's either you are a victim of a crime, or you've heard of somebody who's a victim of a crime, or you did the crime. But yeah, there's just been a clear rise of crime in Zimbabwe, and I know that because I was robbed. Literally, my phone and my laptop, boop, gone. I was robbed the day I scheduled the upload of my video in June, like prior to this like big break of nothing on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. But one of the police officers that was there when I had to give my statement was like, yeah, there's a very clear rise of crime in Zimbabwe, and I just want to talk about why this is happening and give some simple tips on how to protect yourself against some of the petty thieves out there. I will say that criminals are getting smarter and smarter, so if you know of any like advanced tips and stuff like that, please share in the comment section. You could literally be helping somebody out there. But yeah, let's talk about crime in Zimbabwe. So let's begin by defining crime. I have written here a definition. The clipboard is back. And the definition that I looked up in an actual dictionary, not just the internet, mind you, says that crime is an action that breaks the law, an unlawful activity, or an act punishable by law. So basically illegal activity. And it's very clear. Well, there's some crimes that are universal, like don't murder people or rob people or stuff like that, but the nitty-gritties need to be looked into by studying the law. Now I won't do that because I don't have time and I also don't have energy, but yeah, a lot of what I'm talking about right now is, or will be talking about in the video, is concerning crime and activities punishable by the law or activities that break the law. In talking about crime, I think one of the major ways in which we can deal with the problem is to look at the causes of crime. And I say this because I believe that there are two main reasons of crime, or two main reasons why people commit crimes. And in order to deal with them, we need to deal with these two main reasons. Whatever particular specific reason somebody might have for committing the crime that they have committed, I still believe that that reason will probably fall in between the two main reasons, or two main classes of reasons that I'm going to be talking about. The first reason is that people commit crime because to them it is their last resort. And then the second reason that people commit crime is that they just feel like they just can commit the crime. And so I will first be diving into the reasoning of people committing crime because it's their last resort, and then I will go into some of the things that are encompassed by the reasoning that people commit crime because they just can. Okay, so the first class or first main reason behind crime is that a lot of people believe that, or they feel as if crime is their last resort. Everybody knows that Zimbabwe is right now going through a lot of crises, but one of the biggest one is that a lot of people are food insecure. A lot more people day by day are becoming more and more food insecure. And not just food insecure, but it's winter, people don't have clothes to keep themselves warm. We need electricity, people need to buy electricity, people need to pay their rates and stuff like that. And so traditional forms of money making, like getting a job with a stable salary and a stable currency, those are becoming harder and harder to come by. And so they feel like there's nothing left but to steal. And so that's one of the reasons behind crime that is really becoming very prominent. The second reason is that the gap between the haves and the have-not is widening, and a lot of people are finding it hard to, breach that gap. And I say that because the rich, in general, in the world right now, it's very noticeable that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and that same phenomenon is happening in Zimbabwe. A lot of people want to get to that point where they have a lot. They don't want to remain poor, and so they want to breach that gap. Unfortunately, it's becoming very hard in the climate that we're in to breach that gap in legal ways. People want to get money, and they want to get money fast, and they want to get a lot of money. And crime is one of those avenues that is presenting itself to people in order to reach that goal. People with no money are seeing people driving their cars with fuel, able to buy this, that, and the third. And it's a very painful thing to see somebody live a life that you want to live, but you, despite the amount of effort that you put in, cannot provide that life for yourself or for your family. And that is a big drive behind a lot of the crime that is being committed right now. The last explanation as to why people view crime as their last resort is that a lot of people are seeing that those that do crime seem to get the results that they desire: more money, I guess more gadgets, more of anything that anyone could want. And crime is not just simple robbery, walk up to a person, pull out a knife, and then be like, hey, give me your stuff. But it's things like fraud, it's like cheating the system, bribing, evading taxes, or flouting or downright breaking the law, really, which is crime. But yeah, a lot of people are seeing those that do this type of activity succeed, and everything that they do isn't succeeding. On the other hand, all the legal ways in which they are trying to acquire money is not going the right way, or is not going the way they want to. And so they just view crime as their last resort because it's the last thing that they would want to do, but they feel like they have to because it's the only thing that's working. I would like to think, I look for the good in people. I would like to think that people really don't want to commit the crimes that they do, but they have to, in their opinion, or in the life that they live, because for them, life has not presented any other methods of survival other than to cheat the system, to break the law in whatever way possible, be it at large companies siphoning money or embezzling money, or be it just selling their stuff or their merchandise at a street corner that's not really authorized. So for a lot of people, they view crime as their last resort because they just can't seem to catch any break anywhere else. The second main reason why people commit crime, or the second class of reasons why people commit crime, is that they just can commit the crime. They have the ability to, and they will go about their day committing crime. And it comes from the fact that for a lot of people, crime pays. Even if life were to present to them viable and legal ways of making money, for them crime makes more money, or it just makes the type of money that they want, and they never get caught, And so yeah, for some people, crime just pays. The second reason why people just commit crime because they can is because they view crime as an easy way out. You don't need a degree to commit crime. You don't need any certification. You don't need to go through any paperwork. You don't have to submit any documents. You don't have to prove that you're a resident. There's nothing to it. You just commit the crime. I mean, yeah, you kind of have to train maybe in terms of like getting your expertise up, you know, committing the crime well, but in general it's an easy way out for a lot of people, and it's just easier for them to commit the crime than to get certification, than for them to produce documents for whatever. And yeah, one major thing that comes up when trying to figure out why people commit crime just because they can is that they feel as if the law enforcement is not up to par in a way that would stop them from committing the crime or would catch them when they commit the crime. And basically what I mean by this is that a lot of people commit crime because they believe that the police in Zim aren't capable of, you know, preventing the crime, or they can evade the police, and they're somewhat successful and they're somewhat right in that thinking. Like, even though I'm hoping that the police, and I'm praying that the police will find my things in the best condition possible without a lot missing from them, I can't help but be worried because the police have a track record of not having the right equipment, or there's a lot of bureaucracy that's unnecessary. Their expertise is sometimes questionable. You wonder, can they or will they? Do they even want to do this job, or they're just here because, hey, it's a job? And so all of those questions that people have concerning the police enforcement, or the law enforcement rather, enables people to commit crime because they believe that the police in Zimbabwe, the law enforcement in Zimbabwe, is evadable. It's not something to worry about, and so they're not really deterred by the uniform, or they're not really deterred by the presence of police in the world or in the country, because they just, for them, what I'm trying to say is that for a lot of people, the police aren't as useful as they should be, and therefore, because they're not as useful as they should be, or not as useful as they can be, a lot of people will commit crime because they can, and they believe that they won't be caught. And yeah, the last reason is that people commit crime just because they can, is that people commit crime just because they can, and that in of itself is because some people are just sadists. They're just evil. They're terrible people. I think it's okay for a lot of us to try and find the good in people, but some people are just literally terrible people, and they do terrible things because they want to, because they can, because it gives them great joy to see people suffering. And that's a very scary thought. I think people need to realize that some people are just terrible people. That no, we're not just misunderstanding their situation or their mindset. That no, you know, just be sympathetic. Just try to find the other side of the story. Hear them out. Hear their story out. No, people just do crime because they can and they want to. Some people literally derive pleasure or joy from committing crime, and that's the reason why they commit the crime. And it's a very scary thought, but it's a very real reason. I just want to repeat the reason why I'm making this video, and it's because I believe that in order to truly deal with a problem, you have to deal with its root causes. And these two main reasons for me are the reasons why people commit crime. And dealing with crime, truly dealing with crime for me, is dealing with these reasons and dealing with them properly. And so that's just kind of why I'm making this video. Another thing that I want to say in general about crime is that I'm worried that crime in Zimbabwe will be normalized. And I feel like it is. I think I made some point to it in my pet peeves Zim edition video, in the sense that people no longer respect systems. Whenever people are confronted with a system, one of their many first thoughts is basically, how can I cheat the system in a way that benefits me? You know, even when there's no need to, but people just have a general disregard for systems that are put in place to, you know, take care of things. And for me, it's just a testament as to how crime is being normalized, how crime sometimes is even encouraged, and we also need to deal with that. We can't enable crime. We shouldn't enable crime. And I feel like in Zimbabwe, not only are we providing the reasons for people to commit crime or pushing people to commit crime, we're enabling crime by not dealing with it properly and normalizing crime. Last but most definitely not least, we are going to get into some of the tips that I have for you guys in order to prevent yourselves from becoming victims of crime. By the way, these are not foolproof, but I just think that why not just put into place some of the things that I have for you guys in order to prevent crime or to protect yourself as much as possible. I will say that my tips are probably just for protection from petty thieves. I'm not so sure about the craftier and the smarter thieves, or, you know, those that commit crime and cheat you out of your stuff, like those that do fraud. I'm not so sure about tips about that. But if you who's watching this has any tips on how to protect ourselves from these craftier thieves, please, for the sake of everybody watching this and everybody in Zimbabwe, just put some of the, or comment some of those tips down below in the comment section. You could really be helping someone out. So just know I'll be continuously looking down. Okay, don't expect perfect memory, and no, I need to read things. Okay. The first one is, do not use the same route every time when going to school, home, work, or church. Basically, don't use the same route all the time. People watch you. Thieves watch you. Thieves watch people. They take down their routines. They literally write these things down. Or at least I think they write these things down. But they memorize your routine. So if you can diversify your routine in any way possible, please do. Try to be as unpredictable as possible. The second one is, find the serial numbers of all your devices and the IEMI or IMEI numbers as well. So basically, the serial number of your device is usually found at the back, or you can go to the about part of your devices. On phones, you just need to go to your settings app and then scroll all the way down, then you see about phone or about. Laptops, just search about, and I'm sure you can click on whatever comes up. But generally, the serial numbers of your devices can be found, and so are the IEMIs or AEMI numbers. I will try and insert something here in terms of something that will kind of show the definition of that number, but it's a number that is used to track your phone or your device as well. I think it's only for phones, not necessarily laptops, but it's a device that can help, that can really help in terms of tracking a device or just finding out if a device belongs to you, if you have a number or an IME number to compare and contrast to. Just compare to, not really contrast. That's very English literature like. But yeah, the third one is, do not walk in any pathways in the bushes. I haven't done this in a while, but for all of those that are still doing this, stop. I know it sounds very obvious, but if you're used to being safe in your neighborhood or in your city, it's very understandable to become very relaxed and to do certain things that are considered unsafe in certain cities. You feel very relaxed. You just feel as if it could never happen to me. I live in such an area, in such a city, and so I'm fine. But please do not walk in pathways. The fourth one is walk in groups, even in broad daylight. If you can walk with multiple people, always be in groups. Do not be by yourself. Not only does it provide protection in the moment, but if you're in a group, it's harder for thieves to single you out and observe you. And so, yeah, walk in groups. The fifth one is, maybe it's time to get to know your neighbors so y'all can help each other a little bit. And yeah, it's mainly for those that possibly live in middle to low density areas. It's very easy for us to just not know our neighbors or just know them mama face nje or like Mrs. So and so. But maybe this is a chance to, maybe create a neighborhood watch, or just really just look out for your neighbors as they look out for you. And then the last one is, if you are carrying valuables or devices, try not making them visible. This is stuff like, don't carry a laptop bag, because if you're carrying a laptop bag, for most people it's pretty obvious you're carrying a laptop. So try a backpack, or just not always using your phone like this when you're walking or when you're in town or stuff like that. Try to use it as little as possible and put it away. Don't put it in a pocket that makes it so obvious that you have a phone or a device, but just try not to make yourself a target. And this is the last one. Just try not to believe anyone's sob story. People are coming up with elaborate sob stories and, general stories that are very believable. Trust me, they're smart. That are very believable. Maybe they have a job opportunity and you just need to accompany them to this particular place, or they need your help. I know it sounds very harsh and heartless, but please do not engage. Try and run away. If you're feeling alone, try and draw attention to yourself in any way possible in order to get people's attention, people's eyes on you, so that, people or the thieves have shame, or they have no protection in terms of just being protected by people not seeing them. But yeah, don't stop and help anyone. I know it sounds bad, I know it sounds harsh, but just don't do it. Don't believe any story. Go about your day, then go home. Oh yeah, bonus point. Don't leave your clothes out in the line, even if they're not dry and it's a heavy jersey, and don't do it. Take it all in the house and you'll try it the next day. But yeah, that's it for the tips. Anyways, that's it from me. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and comment down below, especially if you have any tips for anyone. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? And I'll see you in the next video.